Proxy Table Gaming, PTG, Lucky Sixes, and Hyper G, ready for action.
Ready to go!
Compare? No? Well, we could compare this with every other battle report we do, because it's a bit different. Again, we're going back to Warhall, aren't we?
We are. And this
Which is
is
overdue.
some of our sporadic coverage of the Erk Ork tournament. Obviously, because we're prioritising the tournaments that we're actually getting to. But of course, Warhall is a thing, and we've been talking about it for a while. I want to bring you one of these in between tournaments while we can. This is
it's going over
actually
over 10 weeks, isn't it? There's the Erk Ork tournament
yes,
in early 2025.
Yeah. As this comes out, we're currently in round 4, going on to round 5. But this
Correct.
is a battle. This is a round 2 battle that I wanted to show. It's had quite a good talking point in it, and it was a good fun battle against Pedro.
Yeah.
And I guess as opposed to the Masters Open, it's a slightly updated version of the rules. Not quite,
but not
the
most
updated. But that'll come. So yeah.
And ironically, after we've reported on this one, we're going to go back to my round 1 in the Erk Ork tournament next week. Yes. So we're not going to worry too much about who's doing what in each round. But these are good battle reports that were done on Warhall, thanks to Hugo and his team. And we want to report on them because they were good battles. So yeah.
Yeah. So it is 3.0. It's my VC versus the Infernal Dwarves of Pedro and Spain.
Pedro. Yep.
And this is my list. You might have seen a similar version before. I can't remember what
the Barrow Guard
against some other things, but yeah, the main thing is the Barrow Guard unit with the vampire count in it. I've changed a few little things around, so he's not got a great weapon anymore. He's got a paired weapon with Kingslayer, but it still means he's strength 5 or strength 7 respectively. But that is to get Gates of the Netherworld on him, because I found that I was losing my Necromancer quite a bit. So I needed that just to have in there. Barrow King BSB is the same. Warding of Unity and Hypnotic Pendant. So Warding of Unity reroll melee against him, and Pendant gives his unit, which is going to be the Barrow Guard, parry, which is nice.
Yeah.
Big unit of ghouls, because in this update there was they got 2nd rank support too. So I wanted to test that out a little bit.
So good.
The skeletons and Court of the Damned go together. Bat swarms for a bit of chaff, and at the end, in my previous version of this, I snuck in a Shrieking Horror, and this time I snuck in some Vampire Knights. Essentially, the Varklax went up quite a bit, so I took them out because I wasn't very good with them as well as points. And I went back to some of the things that I liked quite a bit. So apart from the Vampire Knights and arguably the Horror, it's quite an immobile list still because it's very infantry. But going against us is the Infernal Dwarven Holds.
Yes.
And is a very infantry heavy list as well. So that's quite an interesting thing. He's got a Kadim Chariot Prophet. He's got a On Foot Prophet of Luga and Nizkabesh, or whatever, Nizibkesh, respectively. Both adepts on different laws. You've got BSB with Seat of Authority, and another Vizier with Warden Unity, and the Ring of Desiccation, which you see quite a bit.
Nice.
Big unit, medium unit of Citadel Guard, big unit of levies, smaller unit of levies, 2 lots of Immortals. That is
seems to be the thing.
That is the minimum you're going to see recently. Immortals seem very, very good for their money.
With spears as well. Just incredible.
Spears in this one, but I've seen them in great weapons, and there's lots of. I think they have lots of pros to them now, especially with infantry getting that little bit better in 3.0. 2 gunnery teams, which are going to go in the Citadel Guard unit and somewhere else. We'll see in a sec. Vessel Cav and a Giant to finish off, which is nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think since the latest update, this has gone up by about maybe 40-50 points, so it was obviously a good list from that point of view as well.
Okay.
But that might just be 20 points on the gunnery team, for example, or something like that.
Well, rocket batteries are so filthy, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing them quite a bit as well. We played Breakthrough and Refuse Flank for the primary, and for the secondary, I was Master of the Veil, and he was Settle the Score. This was deployment, and I will take us
you're
away
all the way over there
because we are directly behind us.
Just stick us bang in the middle.
So yeah, this was a. I didn't really, in terms of things, this was a bit of a what I put as a red matchup. But as a team, because this is a team tournament, I was probably the best to face it. We think.
I think at this stage, because I was kind of well, I guess I am captain of the team, so I was putting you into pairs, and we're all playing it relatively relaxed in terms of pairings. We're just saying what we don't want to play against, and pretty much all of us said we didn't want to play against this ID list. And because it was early in the tournament, I thought, I'll give it to Lucky Sixes because he won't blame me forever, just for like a few years, that sort of thing. So you'll get over it by the time we get to 2030 or something like that. So I figure throw you in, even though it's not a great matchup, and you'll do what you can. And this is what happened.
So and
you'll get him jump.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. So I wasn't overly confident going in. So that is probably shown by my deployment, if I'm honest as well. Although he did drop for first, so that's why he's so spread out across the board doing that. So I kind of wanted to counter him a little bit, and I thought that actually with his shooting units, one in the Immortals and one in this Guard unit, the longer unit, my horror doesn't like them at all. They are horrible things. But if I can sort of go around the flank and get the giant, that's a decent target. For there. And actually, going back a step, what we found is idea over against us in every single round.
Single round.
They're so far out of the 4 rounds, we've all gone. Well, none of us want to play ID. So
none of us want to play ID.
That's kind of what we've been.
As a team, maybe we should have picked better lists to go against ID, but we didn't. Again, we didn't really take it seriously enough to worry about that sort of thing going into the tournament.
No.
So all of us seem to not want to play them right now.
Yeah.
And they're in everyone's team apart from ours. So
apart from us, which is perhaps where we went wrong. But anyway, so he has got his Kadim Chariot Prophet. Then a unit of vassals, then a unit of Citadel Guard, then a big unit of vassals with his seat of authority and BSB in. He's got his vassal cav behind his bigger, one of his unit of mortals, and then a unit of mortals with a gunnery team in them to the side, and then the giant on the flank. I had my in the very middle. I had the Grave Guard. With all my characters, bats.
You won't go middle of your army.
In the middle of the board, but on the left of my unit, going left to right. Beauregard with characters, bat swarms behind, Necromancer, Court, and Skellies with the Shrieking Horror behind that thing, just because he is going first. So I'm going to get some cover for the excuse me, for the first round shooting if he goes against me. My ghouls over that side because they are one of the units. No, they're the unit that he nominated. So they do not really want a part of this game much. But if they do, and the giant wants to come against them, actually, it's not a terrible matchup.
No,
there because poison with my vampire knights who have vanguarded because I'm the defender.
Love that
on
position.
The very right, as you see. Moving on to his first turn, and he just moves up.
Why'd you have your circle out, by the way?
That's my 20-inch March bubble. Sorry, not 20-inch, 12-inch March bubble.
Awesome. Cool.
So that I put on my Necromancer so I can see
another good feature of Warhall.
Yes, really good.
You have to kind of imagine that if you're playing on tabletop, don't you?
Yeah. So, and he's currently on the right side, I think, of my Court skeleton unit. So, but yeah, so that's where I'm sort of going with it. But he just moves up like so, pretty staying on the line there. Shooting wise, he puts everything he can, because that obviously this unit over here is not in any sort of range of anything, which I deemed as a moral victory from the
Absolutely.
All his shooting goes into my Beauregard and kills 3 this time. Not
That's
too bad.
You can cope with that.
Yeah. My turn, and I move up as heavily as I can on that right side, making sure that I can't be charged by anything. Ready to scream at him, thinking that if he sort of comes up or he turns with his immortals, he's sort of wasting a turn, and I can just run away. Yeah. After he deals, provided I survive.
Well, there is that.
the rocket batteries, but it is only 1, so that's again another reason why I'm right over this side. The ghouls just start moving up. In my head, they've got 6 turns to get into his breakthrough thing, and maybe come into it on the flanks if needed. But I don't have much else really. I've got the magic move if I need it as well, just to put them up. But of course, they are out of the arc at the minute. I might have that actually on the wrong thing. I might have it on the vampire rather than the.
It looks like you've got it on the Beauregard. Is the center of your circle.
I think it. So actually, they are in bubble, but so I've just marking the wrong thing. But that is the idea. So
I'm sorry I brought it up. Yeah. We should have just said it was part of the decoration.
Yeah. I'm clearly in my head just treating it as if the vampire, because the vampire previously was my general, but is not my general in this.
Everything that is in would still be in if it it was in the right place. So actually, you're doing yourself out of a circle there.
Yeah, it's just the ghouls. Yeah,
exactly.
Hand of Glory on. I put it on the Necromancer's unit because I don't know why. I think the giant could come in. Like with a long charge, and I'm like, just in case, I'll put it on them. I get the hereditary 6-inch from the staff, and I get my Beauregard back basically, and a few extra skeletons.
Awesome.
Over here, I do 4 with his scream. Obviously with 8 wounds, 7 wounds, I'm pretty happy that he's gonna.
That's 4 less than you do to my Taurosaurs. Just saying.
Exactly. Yeah. This is onto his turn 2, and he moves up pretty aggressively, actually. His giant comes over to face the flank of my Beauregard and my Necromancer unit, while the Immortals just move up. And this is when the Immortals aren't that scared of my Beauregard, and they don't have, there are only 20 of them, and I'm, that, and I just think, oh, mate, that's how good they are. That's how good. He was very careful, though. I'll have to give him a lot of credit. He was very careful to not allow me to charge that middle unit of Immortals.
Sure. Yeah.
So he measured and he did everything right, where if I'd have moved past them, I couldn't actually wheel to get into him. And I don't think he minded if I went into the vassals, because he's got counter charges on me. So, there was that. Otherwise, he just moves forward. As he hasn't gone after the Shrieking Horror, which I'm pretty happy with. It means my Shrieking Horror is probably going to be all right for this battle.
Yeah, finish off the giant if he wants, for now. He can just chill out.
Yeah, and my Vampire Knights are obviously going to come in while my ghouls move up as well. So my right side's actually not looking too bad. And I'm hoping it can support later on in the game. But
I guess the counter is that he's going to get an easy breakthrough on your left flank as well, because those vassals are just legging it for the deployment.
Yeah, there's that. And it'll come down to who can kill what scoring. But it did worry me how not cared he was. Bearing in mind as well, he's got a gunnery team in the front rank. So he's in his Immortals, he's losing like 4 attack Immortals. I was just like, oh man.
It's not about how much he takes. It's just the brick, isn't it? Yeah.
He also gets some magic buffs on them, to be fair, so puts everything into that. I tried to stop one thing and he put 2 others on it. Fair play. On to my turn 2, and my Vampire Knights come up to support. My Shrieking Horror comes hopefully to do the last 3 wounds to the giant, while the ghouls slowly make their way around there. I choose not to charge because he's got too much, but everything's in the front apart from with my Beauregard, apart from the giant. So he can combo chas. But again, I'm banking on my Shrieking Horror. It did 4 wounds last time. 3 wounds with 7 stacks should be okay.
Should be.
Yeah.
Should be.
But it's not. I do 2 out of 7.
Okay.
And yeah, now I'm really scared. Not only can he come into the flank and combo charge me, but my Necromancer is right there. And he's fully raged. Yeah. That is not good. That is not good position. He is
no.
Yeah. Despite being surrounded by skeletons, it's the living giant that sort of scares him.
I would have kind of expected you to put your bat swarms in front of them, because that's what you would normally do. Like just in case.
The giant?
Yeah, I mean, if you could fit in that space, maybe you couldn't fit in.
Well, I figured I've got it's going to be a long battle with him so close to me with all these units. I'm going to need chaff later on. I honestly thought I'd kill him.
Yeah, well, I think you were right to think that.
I needed...
What was it, 7
threes?
Hits, auto hits, wounding on
auto hits
with no save allowed. Yeah.
I actually thought my 4 was... I was like, okay, well, that's okay.
4 wasn't great, yeah.
4 wasn't great, so...
2 was worse.
I think averages-wise, he kills him, but the fact he doesn't... And I was like, maybe that's going to be huge. I do manage to get some spells off, though. I get Whisper of the Veil off on his mortals, which I realise afterwards is completely useless because you can't wound them on better than 4 up. So that's great, isn't it? Well done. But I do get distracting on my Beauregard, which is going to be important, along with parry. Anything coming in is going to hit me on 5s. So,
yeah,
pretty decent. He chooses to only go in with his giant. And I honestly was pretty pleased about this. He's got 1 wound left. I've got 4 attacks. You know, he might do some wounds to me, but I might hit the wound there. If he holds me up, fair enough. That'll be annoying, but not the end of the world. And he didn't go into my Necromancer, which was my huge... I was like, he will definitely die if he goes into the Necromancer because I've got the court there. However...
Could kill the Necromancer first.
So, yeah. So, actually, very pleased.
That's the result.
He chose this, route. But, yeah. Then he moves up like so, putting his vassals really aggressively down my flank there. But all the immortals coming up. Yeah, he just doesn't care. He just doesn't care. Vassal Cav chaffs the Vampire Knights, even though it doesn't look it. It does.
Okay. Yeah.
And everything else moves forward.
Another benefit of Warhall, the pivot things that come up.
Yeah, you just it's very black and white.
Yeah.
Over to shooting, and even one battery can do the wounds. His vassals didn't do anything, but they did put the reroll to wound.
Good job they didn't.
Yeah, well, exactly, because 6 out of 7, and he is toast. So I was like, man, it's just... he didn't kill the giant, and now he's got to run away. That's basically it.
Yeah.
However, the Beauregard did kill the giant with minimal loss, and it gives me some options now over here.
Yeah.
And again, saving that chaff sort of means that I can use it in the next turn as well. So, hoping to do some wounds and actually get into his army now. My Vampire Knights at the top go into his Vassal Cav to clear them away, and I choose the unbuffed unit. I believe they've got a character in as well, which obviously helps my Kingslayer dude. Hoping to just overrun. I know they're stubborn in the first turn, like all of them, every Infernal Dwarf. But
ever.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, that's the army rule, I guess. But yeah, hoping I can do some wounds with a magic phase coming up and them not magically buffed. So this is my turn 3. I've done this a few times now, and I don't know why I do it. My bats obviously chaff the immortals at the top, but I don't know why I'm presenting a flank. There's no real reason to. Granted, it's probably irrelevant this turn, this time.
Yeah.
But I've done it in future ones, and they're a square unit, and they're light troops. So there's no reason for me to not be facing south as we look at it.
I mean, I guess you didn't want them overrunning into your skellies and your court, but...
Well, no, what I mean is exactly where they are, just facing south, so that they will be facing...
Oh, right, sure. Oh, yes.
There's the same facing and everything. So I don't know, it's just an extra bit of combat res, because they're not that killy, Immortals. They'll have all the combat res.
One attack each.
But if I can hold them up maybe one turn, where they don't pivot, I can go into their flank. So yeah, I don't know why I'm doing this. This is something I need to... And this is me telling me to stop it, please.
Right.
Because it is a very silly thing that I keep doing in every game.
Hey, if I had that going on with what I do every single game for the last 7 years, then I'd be a much, much better player by now.
But it's just a really niche thing, a really simple thing that I just keep forgetting to not... I don't know why. I think maybe... I don't know. But I need to get that out of my thing. As I said, Shrieking Horror comes way back and that's probably his home for the rest of the game. If I can heal him as well, then he won't give away any points. So I'll see if I can do that and spare some magic at some point. But with my Beauregard going in, that's probably where everything's gonna go. I get Hand of Glory off, and a Dead Arise to chaff his.
Oh, nice.
Vassals who were in the flank. I couldn't do anything about not being in the flank there, which is great.
That's really good that you got that off, though.
Yeah, really. Yeah. So I think he essentially just forgot. Sometimes people just forget Dead Arise is a thing.
Too right.
So yeah, that was really good. That was basically saved his where he's tried. I think he stopped distracting. And I rolled decent for Hand of Glory, and then I had a couple of dice left at the end to do Dead Arise.
Very cool.
I kill the Vassal Cav, as is, and end at the top with the Vampire Knights, and I do 9 wounds, including combat res.
Okay.
And he does. I don't know how he has only done 2, because he's definitely got balance. Maybe I have the 9 wounds. Maybe that's it to his 2 wounds. But either way, he's stubborn and he holds, unfortunately for me. So that's a shame. But I mean, it's very likely that they hold anyway, because they half.
Yeah, well, that's why you've chapped elsewhere. You know, you knew that fight was going to continue. So
over on to his turn, and he charges in with the Kadim Chariot. He charges the Dead Arise unit, and he charges the Bat Swarms as well. The other battery in the Citadel Guard with pistols, I guess, come over to shoot at the Vampire Knights as well.
Yeah.
While the other vassals just come up to get the breakthrough. Shooting wise, they only killed 1, which I was just super grateful for. I think I'd saved a decent amount, because I have got a 5 up save. So I think I over saved.
5 up, yeah.
But yeah, one of the
because that rocket battery could rip them a new one again.
Yeah, multiple wounds 2. It's just so good. And he gets Blood Curse off on my Beauregard to reduce their effectiveness. Overall, though, I don't lose many because of the Aegis, and he doesn't lose many, but I win by 1. But obviously, it's all reduced because of things, and he holds. But I have done some wounds to his Kadim Chariot now, as he's basically lined up with my lord, and being a character, that's not a good place to be.
No.
Right, over here, I charge in. So let's go back one. So he obviously kills the bats and just turns to face like this, so that I'm in the front. I charge with my unit, thinking I can, hold him up, maybe get the Vampire Knights as well. Who actually Vampire Knights bypass that, and as you can see, go into the Kadim Chariot. So that's nice for them. But it ended up that this was the finishing position. Now, I'd not come across this before, and there was enough for me to sort of like teleport and be this side, which I actually originally thought they were going to. And obviously, if they're there, they're in a decent position. So I thought, going in, I'm going to charge, I'm going to get my impact hits and stuff, and there's going to be minimal attacks back at me. We're going to be there for a while, but I'm not going to lose many. He's not going to lose many, and my necromancer would be safe. Unfortunately, I got this very, very wrong, and this was the ending up position. So we are not. He doesn't move into me, and I move over as much as possible with the terrain being there, and we count as if we're together.
Yeah.
Now, this seemed to me quite unintuitive. There's a rules thing.
Sure.
I guess there are reasons for it.
Well, in old money, he would have closed the door, right?
Yeah.
In that scenario, and then been up against you, but that doesn't happen anymore.
But I must admit, I think this is me problem as well. I got a bit confused with being a bit more mobile and teleporting things, just to get in to base contact. I guess the reason is you have to. This point here is really important. Where they contact, you have to respect the contacting point. And you can't really teleport away from that. You can contact in many other ways.
And you can't minimise the amount in contact by doing so. So like, you couldn't have slid towards us to your left, your unit.
So I thought I'd be this side because there'd be plenty space, and that's just how we'd end up. And then later on, we'd come together, and he'd come into me. But it wasn't the case, and I sort of did it, and it's being a tournament game. Obviously, you can't take these things back, and I will say I was left there. I don't really know as well what the rules are for their facing now, because whether their facing is the same as it is, or as if they are contacted, because you treat them as in combat as if they are, but in terms of arcs and stuff like that, and what they can see and what they see there.
If there was like a counter charge for falling combat.
So I'm not really sure about that as well. So if you guys, I guess watching, have come into this situation before, and things like arcs and things have been an issue, let me know. And I'd love to hear other people's thoughts on this scenario. But this was like the big talking point really, and his captain came in to help, who was very good with the rules. This was the correct way to do it. Although I hadn't come across it before, so I was a bit like, no.
Yeah, I'm guessing that your left front of your unit. Like maybe go back 2 pictures, and we'll talk through this. But your left front, could that not have tried to impact with the unit on his left front as the point of impact, which would have then meant that you had to.
I don't know whether you
in touch at that point.
Yeah, because you just have to point. You have to get there, don't you?
Yeah, like if you wheeled your unit to the left and then go forward, and then.
But I don't know whether maximising. I couldn't do that.
Well, exactly, because that would very obviously.
Because there's an order of priorities.
Exactly. Yeah. So maybe because you could do it the other way, you have to do it the other way.
But I think
it's a really interesting.
To be honest, that sounds like what I'd tried to do. I think.
Yeah.
But I think maximising.
Yeah, without the sliding over thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I tried to go there, and then obviously I'll just teleport, and you forget about the rest. Thinking, well, that's because that's a legal position. I basically not even thought about because I was like, well, that stops him moving, so that's what you want to do as a maximum priority. But I got it wrong. Essentially, is what I'm saying.
That's it. There's a lot of very knowledgeable people in this tournament. So
this is the correct position, and because I misjudged that, if we go on to the next page, you can see that actually this unit down here have arc of sight into there, and the closest distance is not that much. I think they need maybe a 3 to get in there. Wow. And I'm not going to be able to move at all. So I went from being in a real safe position in my head to actually crap. That's not good. But my Vampire Knights do get in, and I'm hoping that I can do the last wound to this Qadim Chariot, overrun, and get out of dodge from them. And then they can shoot at ghouls all day if they want. I get some spells off. So I get the distracting, I think, again, on the Beauregard. And I put the Aegis on the Necromancer now, needing that.
I'm guessing he dispelled Deader Eyes to prevent this.
Well, he knew about it
now that he's seen it happen. Yeah,
you don't get done twice. Yeah. You don't get done twice.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
But the cool thing in the middle combat, I go to town. Really, he still holds with these guys, which was I guess a tad frustrating. But I'm just not able to do that many wounds with the maximum on a 4-up. Even my guy who's strength 7 is wounded on a 4-up. It's quite a big rule. So it's just hard to munch through. But I am munching through them, so that's pretty cool. And my Vampire Knights go through out of dodge there, so that's great as well. But as you can see, he takes this charge, and I put the arc up as well just to show people. Wasn't good. Yeah, I was a bit gutted actually that this happened, and I just misjudged it so much. But I do have the Aegis, so there's that. And as you can see on his turn, he moves up the vassals and slightly the Citadel Guard as well to be within charging range of things as well.
And/or breakthrough.
Yeah. Over here, this is after combat. Even with, I think I just didn't roll an Aegis this time. It was just so sad. And he just goes to town on me with all the combat res and him denying me all these ranks as well. Skeletons are just dying in droves at this point. However, I do kill the unit in the middle. I kill them outright, and because the Vampire Knights have technically charged into them this turn, they get an overrun. Which is great because now I'm facing the flank of these vassals, and actually that's not a terrible place to be. Over here, onto my turn. So my Barrow Guard have to go into the Citadel Guard. I don't particularly like it, but I have to go in to basically stop them coming into my breakthrough. And now that I've won against one unit of scoring, I need to keep that up, basically.
Yeah.
Hoping that these Vampire Knights go into them and kill the vassals.
Absolutely, they will.
Yeah. So that's pretty good, and then that will be another scoring thing as well for the primary. Also, my Barrow Guard being there does put me near the centre for the for my secondary, which is all nice. Master of the Veil.
Okay. Yeah.
And my ghouls are pretty safe. I have charged them in to try and save my skeletons a little bit, having all the ranks and things going into the immortals and things. The combat res will just be equaled, and I'll have a healthy unit into there. That obviously stops them going in the breakthrough, but if I'm going to have them anywhere on the flank of a unit, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So stand and shoot kills about 5. Which is like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, they've got stand and shoot as well, haven't they?
Yeah. Well, they got pistols and the thing. So like, was it 4? No, it was 5. Yeah. And I was just like, oh god. So I'm actually.
I hope the rocket battery didn't stand and shoot as well.
I don't know. Yeah. And he stops a rise basically. With all those things, which means I get distracting and Aegis off. But obviously the rise is pretty important, and that's what you need to do against vampires. Is just stop the arise. Yeah. People are getting very savvy to that. Over here though, I go to town on them. They do, I think, hit me or something, but they fail the thing. They run off the board. I follow and obviously do the turning around as you do. But that's great. Vampire Knights absolutely really smashing good. It. So far MVPs in the battle.
Get another unit of them.
Yeah. Over here, this was after combat. I lose about 5 or 6, so actually quite big in number considering. But I do some wounds as well, and we all hold and stick around for some more. But yeah, I don't like grinding out that much. And this was the turn that I just got depleted with the skeletons in the middle. Obviously, all the combat rares and all the attacks and things just stood no chance. And I think they killed my skeletons outright, which just obliterated the court as well. Very sad, but it had to be.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah. On the next turn, I actually kill the Citadel Guard. They make them run, and I had the choice of whether to go after them and get the points, or risk getting the points, or stay and do the Master of the Veil. But I decide that I want to absolutely make sure with the primary, go after them. I do get them. I get their points, which is a lot of points, and I get the scoring another unit. So that's great.
Yeah.
So it meant that even though he's got his 2 units in here, I think this is the last picture. Yeah. So as you can see, I've got the scoring unit there, the Immortals, then the Citadel Guard. I had my ghouls stayed in the objective, so they're a point, and my Vampire Knights got the vassals at the bottom, whereas he's just got the 2 scoring here, and a third.
Nice demonstration, by the way.
Yeah, I like that one. And a third actually for the skeleton unit that they caught, which meant I won 4-3 on the primary. Neither of us got the secondary because my ghouls are alive and I'm not their centre. And yeah, that was the battle. So a really interesting battle. And from my point of view, I come up, my Beauregard surviving was actually huge.
Incredible.
With everything going on. Even with him stopping the arises, which is exactly the right thing to do. So yeah, overall, I won 13-7 on points and nabbed the objective was that last one, and won 16-4. So I had it as a red matchup. I'll probably move it to a orange because I've won it. So like it has, but I still think it's I don't think it's like a green or anything like that now that I've won 16-4.
I think moving it to an orange might be not doing yourself enough credit, if I'm honest. I think it is a red matchup. You just, apart from the skeleton unit obviously getting flanked, which was an unfortunate update of the rules, I think you did exactly what you needed to do. You got your Shrieking Horror unit in a position where it wasn't vulnerable. When it was vulnerable, you got it the hell out of there. The Vampire Knights maybe got a little bit lucky on that rocket battery shot that had 1 turn of shooting them. Like they could have easily been down to 2 models or maybe even 1 with a good round of rocket battery. But you survived that moment and pushed on through it, and the Vampire Knights did what they really like to do, which is flank charge a chariot, flank charge a unit of decimated immortals, flank charge a vassal unit, turn around, look pretty. You got everything right apart from that flank charge into the skeletons. So I don't think you should downgrade it to an orange. Sure. I just think you nailed it. So
yeah, and I think he dropping for first and doing that gave me the chance to do like a decent deployment or a very safe deployment. I wouldn't say it's decent, but it's very safe. And
I'd say both.
Sure. And I think as well, I know I talked about it, obviously not to him, but the giant really should have punked my Necro.
Oh yeah.
At that point, because I didn't have
100%
any save on it or anything like that. It had 13 attacks hitting me on the
It didn't achieve anything going into your side of your barracks.
Yeah, that was an odd choice. That I think had he gone into the Necro would have changed the battle quite a bit.
Yes.
So
agreed.
Obviously that was unlucky. Arguably on my point as well with the Shrieking Horror, not killing it in 2 rounds as well. So could have gone very different. But maybe you felt sorry for me that I didn't kill it. Let's go.
Yeah, maybe.
But otherwise, we are into round 4.
Good win.
We've got a few of your battles on this in Warhall.
Going to do round 1.
Well, basically we're using the online tournaments as a way to show you some extra bat reps that we think we're interested in. Obviously, I had this as a decent interesting matchup and the couple of talking points. So we'll do that for the other Warhall battles. We like to show Warhall because there's some, as we've seen on this, really, really good tool. I get to play Spanish people and all sorts. So yeah, really fun. If we move on, thanks. Obviously, this is just showing I got the objective.
Yeah.
Magneticmovementtrade.com for your non-online stuff. But obviously, as we said, Warhall for your online things. Catch us on all the social medias, on the forum. Not so much when you step up on the forum a little bit. But yeah, not so much on there, but on all the other social medias, and of course Patreon, where we are dedicating a lot of our time as well. So yeah, 100 Club's still a thing. We're really trying to get through that as much as possible.
If you challenged us when we first introduced the 100 Club and we haven't got back to you, just keep asking us, because life and tournaments get in the way of random battles, that doesn't mean we've forgotten. Well, it kind of does mean we've forgotten, actually. So remind us when we said we'd play you, because we need those little chinks to remind us who we've agreed to play.
With tournaments, sort of, there are actually lots of English tournaments, but they seem to be bad weekends for us at the minute. But there are loads of tournaments going out, which is great. So we're going to try and see if we can get to any of them. But also in the next sort of like June to August period, we are looking for online games as well. So as you say, if you've already reached out to us, reach out, just remind us. If you haven't and you want to give us a game, by all means get into the bit Discord as well. But you can do that on the forums. We are looking at our messages and things like that.
I think Discord is probably the best place to message us, actually, in a direct message, because
if you can,
if you put it in a YouTube comment, it's a little bit like, well, how do we progress this conversation without giving out personal contact details and whatnot? So Discord is a really good place to start a conversation.
So if you're in one of the Ninth Age groups on the Discord, we're likely to be on one of them. If you're on Erk Ork, for example, or on the UK or the ETC and things like that, you should be able to find us. If not, all these other ways to do it are there as well. So get involved and having fun trying to get some battles in.
Art of War to come.
Art of War to come directly next week is our plan. Anyway, we'll see. But yes. So until then, like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Comment away, and we will see you later.